Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Action Jackson, man. And in today's video, you guys already know the Dallas Cowboys got eliminated by the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday. So now it's time for these off-season videos and to reflect, one, and to have hard conversations about what the Dallas Cowboys need to do with certain players, especially since we know how this organization works and how they're very serious about the cap. They're the only team that goes out there and they vocally say, hey, we can't have a great team because our quarterback makes X, Y, and Z. They talk about the salary cap and everything like that. So today's main focus of the video during the offseason is it's time to have that talk about Ezekiel Elliott, which was a glaring weakness. He wasn't, So before I get to the video, I appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe, comment, and share my video with anyone who you think might enjoy my content, man. So hopping straight into it, man. Let's be honest, man. Ezekiel Elliott is done as a Dallas Cowboy, in my opinion. Just not being done as a Cowboy, but I just think he's done just as that running back to me, in my opinion. He is, of course, no longer that back that I used to love when he was a rookie in 2016. I still have love for him now, man. He was definitely one of the exciting parts of watching the Dallas Cowboys, 6-7 years ago. But obviously, that time has ran out. And it ran out quickly, man. It just seemed like just yesterday we just had drafted him, and he was just a young kid coming out of Ohio State, and he could run like a 4.2, 4.3, 40, and he was, he had amazing plays. You saw that spin he did on Clay Matthews in a divisional round in 2017. His rookie year when he was just running past defenders and split through a seam against the Bengals. When you throw him a screen route against the Steelers, take it for 83 yards, like, that Zeke is over now. So now it's time to have that talk. And what do the Dallas Cowboys do moving forward with Ezekiel Elliott? So just to tell you guys how quickly Ezekiel Elliott fell off, I'm just going to go over before he has gotten his contract, what he was and what he was after. So his rookie year, he had a phenomenal year, man. He was averaging 108 yards per game. That's how great he used to be. But not only was he that great, we had an amazing offensive line, which is another thing that deteriorated his career as well. And let me touch on the offensive line. What made Zeke was that offensive line. We had Tyron Smith, who was consecutively playing games, 10-plus games a year. Then you had Ron Leary, who replaced Lel Collins because Lel Collins had broke his foot that offseason. Then you had center Travis Frederick. That was a Hall of Famer-like dude. Then you had Zach Martin. Then you had Doug Free. Then, that year he ran for 1,631 yards. He had 1,994 yards from scrimmage. He had 16 touchdowns, man. He had one receiving touchdown. That was the longest, that year. Then, he averaged 5 fumbles. He had fumble problems coming into the league, of course. But, he had, just from a rushing standpoint, had 1,631 yards. Then in 2017, that was the whole accusation that he was going through when he got suspended 6 games, but he still ran for 983 yards. He still had 1,252 yards from scrimmage. He had 9 rushing touchdowns, and then he also had 2 touchdowns through the air. 2018. So 2016 was an all-pro, Pro Bowl year. Should have won offensive rookie, also with Dak Prescott. I feel like that's when you split that award. But his third year, this was before he had gotten his contract, 2018. He had ran for 1,434 yards. He had 6 touchdowns. That was the most carries he has gotten. And that was also, it made sense because his rookie year, he had a lot of veterans. He had Darren McFadden. He had Alfred Morris. He had things like that. So he had breathers when he was tired. We had to switch up back with Lance Dunbar. We had, Alfred Morris, Darren McFadden. We saw those guys. So Zeke wasn't being as used as that because we had other backs as well. So then, of course, 2018, like I said, 1,434 yards, 6 touchdowns, rushing, and then through the air, he had 3. Then, which was his career high. But like I said, the yards per game he was getting down has been downgraded ever since then. But like I said, that deterioration of the offensive line. He had 108 his first year. Second year went to 98.3. His third year was 95.6. Then after he has gotten his contract in 2019, which was still another really good year from him. Cowboys didn't make the playoffs that year though. That's when we went 8-8. He had 1,357 yards. He had 12 rushing touchdowns. Then, he followed that up with 2 receiving touchdowns, and then he had a total of that year with 1,777 yards in total from, through the air and on the ground. So that was Zeke's his last best year that he had. It was 2019. From a statistical standpoint, that was his last best year for me, and his impact on the game, and then what made him put fear into people, that stopped in 2018. 2019, like I said, he started a really great showing, and he was still the main focal point of our team. But now, that deteriorated. After, his second year into his contract, 979. His third year into his contract, 1,002. That was 2021, which he still looked pretty solid, but that torn PCL that he suffered after the Panthers game severely hindered him. And then now he finished off with 876, but that was, of course, still he missed 2 games, which doesn't really mean anything for me. And so what should the Dallas Cowboys do moving forward? I already gave you guys what Zeke was, what he used to be, and what it is now is he's no longer that back. I can openly, admittedly say that. And I was a fool, man, because I originally had thought when he was holding out, I was for Zeke. I was for the player. I was like, go get your money. You deserve your money. You deserve to be the highest paid back in the league. If you just even looked at your first 3 years, like, you put up amazing stats. And if you didn't get suspended for those 6 games, who knows how many yards you get your second year. You might get 1,500 yards, 1,300 yards. You still have a really good year. And he still had a great year anyway, even though missing 6 games. And your offensive line being less than what it was. But now with Zeke Elliott, he cost a big portion of your cap. But like I said, going back towards when I was saying about me being his number one advocate, me and a couple other Cowboy fans as well, we wanted Zeke to get his money, and we wanted him to be a Dallas Cowboy because we knew he was the identity of our football team. I was like, give him his money, he deserves it. But ever since then, I had realized you just paying running backs top of the line money and having them be a portion of your cap space is no longer ideal anymore. You just look at certain scenarios. You look at the Niners yesterday. I know they took on Christian McCaffrey, but before then they had Raheem Mostert, they had Elijah Mitchell, they had a bunch of guys that can take over that fold of running back, and they can still get great production out of them. And that's what I feel like the Cowboys should do moving forward. Now, like I said, for Ezekiel Elliott to stay on this team, he's definitely going to have to do one of 2 things, and I believe 2 things can happen, but it has to be up to Zeke and the front office. I think the front office is, number one, they're going to do right by them first, and they're going to see if Zeke wants to take a pay cut. If Zeke does not want to take a pay cut, he will be post-June 1st cut, and that's when we will get most of our money back from him. We will gain $10 million in cap space. Making that, so with the Cowboys making that transaction, they will gain, like I said, $10 million in the cap space. So that's one move. So you're gonna have to let go of Zeke. If Zeke does want to come back, which I'm open for, but if Zeke wants to come back, he has to change his position. He has to be a fullback, in my opinion. I feel like that's what the Dallas Cowboys need to use him as. I feel like we can use him in that Kyle Juszczyk type of scenario where, Zeke is not afraid to block, and he's physical, and we know that. That's one thing that we do say, that we always give credit to him, is that we love when he's in there, only because he provides that extra protection when somebody wants to come and hit him, like Fred Warner or a Devin White or anybody, or just anybody in general who comes off that edge, whoever comes in that A gap, that B gap, and trying to get a free hit on Dak, Zeke is right behind Dak to pick him up. And Dak loves Zeke as well. They both came into the league together. They both lit it up together in the same year. So I know for sure, Ezekiel Elliott does not want to leave this team, but he's going to have to do some things that I don't know if he's willing to make. That's one, taking financially, having to, owe the Dallas Cowboys money, and also him having to switch his position. If he's open for both, I would love to have Ezekiel Elliott back for the Dallas Cowboys. But if he doesn't want to change his position to a fullback, like I said, I know it sounds weird and everything like that he should be switching his position, but why pay him top of the line market money when he can no longer do the things? He can't do running back like things. He averages now below, he can't even average more than 4 yards a game. He's averaging at least 2 yards a game, and that's horrible for him. There's games where he averages less than a yard, less than 2 yards. I mean, so Zeke Elliott no longer has it in him no more. So, and I've grown to, come to that realization. So now, like I said, those are his two options. He has to take a massive pay cut, or we can either take a massive pay cut or just cut him post June 1st, bring him back on a way cheaper deal, and then switch his position to fullback. But that's another conversation I have to. I'll go into further detail with about Kellen Moore and what we should do about him. But yeah, man, that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed, and also give your thoughts on what you guys think the Dallas Cowboys should do with Zeke Elliott. If you had to put on your GM hat, what would you do about Zeke and everything like that? Do you have some points that you agree with me, that he should either switch his position to fullback, knowing that he's no longer that dynamic running back anymore, and he can't catch the ball? That's not his game. He's a short yards situation back. So let me know your guys' thoughts. I would love to hear them. Have a nice day. Bye.